Hi, my name is Wendy Delson, and this is my Assignment 3 presentation on learning strategies for teaching music and music performance. I enjoyed working in a digital collaboration community both for this project and in this class. It's exciting to see the strategies that members of my group are posting. With classmates from diverse backgrounds and regions, I like to see and learn other strategies that are used in different classrooms or workplaces. A group presentation as a communication tool is an ideal way to learn from and with other students. It teaches us collaborative learning and peer sharing, and by using learning strategies, we are more able to teach them. Just as with anything, the more understanding we have, the easier it is for us to share with our students. This group project will be a valuable resource for me in the future as well. I chose a broad topic in the hopes that other students will be able to take something away from it, not just a music teacher. I also chose a broad topic because that's what teaching music is. When music teachers are certified, we can teach from pre-K to grade 12 and subjects ranging from elementary general music to high school band to middle school orchestra to AP music theory to advanced madrigal choir. I found when speaking to members of an online cohort of string orchestra teachers to which I belong, many music teachers find it difficult to use technology in their lessons. In this project, I set out to find strategies that will introduce music teachers to an array of resources to guide them from the basics to more complex learning strategies. In my research, I found a multitude of strategies to engage students with technology. A quick summary of those follows. First, we must look at our students and use strategies to reach them who learn differently than only a few years ago. Who are our students and how do they learn best? Put yourself in their shoes to understand how best to serve them. Setting a learning goal is an important strategy for teachers. Learning about technology and which app or software to use in a teacher's particular environment is important to help students reach those goals. A music teacher's guide for everything about teaching music, the NAFME website, has scores, no pun intended, of articles on an array of different learning strategies, including articles on incorporating technology into the national standards for music education. Using iPad apps can make learning so much fun that they won't realize that it's not just a game. There are so many students recently, it seems, who are being diagnosed with ADD or ADHD. Music teachers, who often teach small group lessons, can have a positive impact on these special students. Two ideas that I will incorporate into my teaching will be, first, to understand and capitalize on how my students learn best. I will give them opportunities to learn in their own way. Students are now making videos of themselves playing as learning tools. I'm trying to incorporate Instagram into my classroom to send notes to my kids and reminders. I'm waiting for approval from my district before I can do this. Second, I'm going to try journaling with the parents of my ADD students using Google Docs. So often, parents of children with special needs only hear about the bad times that their children are having, so I plan on sharing positive feedback as well as keeping lines of communication open. In my own experience, parents are great sources of information for teachers. Now I'd like to take you through my presentation. We must use teaching strategies that work with our students' learning styles. As teachers, we must understand our students before we do anything else. Students in 2016 are different than they were only a few years ago. The way they interact, learn, and live are different than before. We should bond with them, but understand where the boundaries are. When using technology in a classroom, teachers must remember that students will still need guidance and routines, and we must be adaptable to meet the needs of our students. How can we relate to them? How do they learn? How do they live? What do they like? How can we be effective with today's students? We must put ourselves in the place of them in order to understand them, and then we can teach our students. One of the most important strategies for teaching and learning is to have a learning goal for your students. With that goal in mind, a teacher must have knowledge of technology and how will that technology integrate into your classroom environment. Or let your students use what they are comfortable with your approval, of course. Either way, as a teacher, it's necessary to become familiar with as many tools as possible. Whether you're teaching music or any other subject, this website has an amazing array of blogs and tips for integrating technology both into your planning and your teaching. Probably what I like the best about this site is the clear and concise graphics. They are so easy to understand, and each step is clearly shown. As a music teacher, I was interested in the blogs on using GarageBand or how to get the most out of YouTube. There are 15 different articles about using YouTube, from a very basic how-to to the more complex. As recording students is of paramount importance to a music teacher, it's great to have the ins and outs of YouTube readily available. In addition, this resource has so many different articles about how to use Google, how to use Google Classroom, and so many teacher-friendly sites that it should be on every teacher's must-read list. Finding a website that's a one-stop shop for learning strategies is important. NAFME.org is probably the music teacher's greatest resource. Among the world's largest arts organization, NAFME is our advocate and our go-to for all topics about music education. Whether it's to sign up for a local or national conference, to advocate for your program, to gain understanding about the National Music Education Standards, or to discover teaching and learning strategies, this is the place to go. There's a section on lesson plans and tips for all kinds of music classes, from elementary to high school, general music to performing groups. There are articles about learning with project-based music, blended learning in a performance classroom, using technology in music classrooms. One of the articles that I found especially helpful is Technology Strategies for the Performing Ensemble Classroom. Using CAIs, or Computer Assisted Instruction applications, is a great way to reach a music classroom. CAI apps such as Smart Music can reinforce what's taught in the lesson and can be used at home, since we don't often see our students more than once or twice a week. Anything that I can use to help my students learn at home is a great strategy. Anything that will make my students want to learn and not realize that they're doing it is a strategy that I want to use in my classroom. A resource list of 30 iPad apps and descriptions is a must for every music teacher. Whether you're using these apps as teaching tools or just so your students might have fun without realizing that they're learning, this is a great resource. It's like giving a child a smoothie that tastes like chocolate but really has kale in it. You're enjoying it so much that you don't realize that it's actually good for you too. Some of these apps are just fun to use. You can paint with sound, with singing fingers. Monkey Drum lets you make music by drawing as animals play what you wrote. There are also apps that will allow students to notate and create their own music, such as GarageBand and Finale Songbook. Students can use Note Perfect and Ear Trainer to reinforce classroom lessons in note reading and sight singing. Students with ADD or ADHD face challenges that are different than typical students. I found this article particularly interesting because of my son, who has faced challenges all of his life. Michael has cerebral palsy, but is very lucky because he does walk and talk, albeit with difficulty, and has always been in special ed. He has since graduated from college and gone on to a career in accounting and motivational speaking, but it was and still is a struggle for him every day. I'm very aware of students with special needs in my classes, and I adapt my lessons to fit everyone. I can't remember how many times Michael had come home from school upset about something that a teacher did or did not do. There are so many learning strategies in this article that it's hard to know where to begin. I will focus on the technology aspects of this article, since this class is Instructional Technology Theory and Practice. Using technology in your lessons can increase the student's attention span. If the student is studying for a solo, for example, have them watch YouTube videos of another performer, have them listen to it and try and play along. This can vary their practice routine at home and help their focus. Make a video of the lesson for the students to use at home. If the student's attention wanes during class, the student can review the recording at home, and parents can help with it as well. Another strategy is to record a specific piece or exercise for students to use at home, or even in individual or small group work in class. Because students learn in different ways, this can be extremely helpful for all students. Some students learn music by rote, others learn visually, and others orally. Students learn all subjects differently as well. We as teachers need to rethink how we teach and to make sure that we are not just teaching how we ourselves are comfortable, but that we are flexible enough to redesign our teaching styles to reach all students. A journal using Google Docs with students and parents is a great way to share ideas and suggestions, as well as successes. Please let me know if you'd like the full copy of the article. I can email it to you. However, I don't have permission to reprint it. Next are my references. Feel free to take a look at them and use whatever you'd like. And I thank you for watching and listening to my presentation. I hope that you found some interesting ideas and learning strategies that you can incorporate into your classes.